Hello, my name is John Quinn. I'm currently teaching the Intro Programming course using Python and the Java APCSA course, both using the Rex K12 curriculum. So I'm demonstrating today how to grade student assignments, and we'll see that there are really two versions of this. In this first demonstration, I'm showing you a program that students were assigned, and they're asked to find how many palindromes are in a dictionary that I've provided to them. So from the student side, they will see the starter code that basically provides a shell for their program. The dictionary has, I believe, 45,000 or so words in it. So when students have designed their code and they're ready to submit it, I will see it in this window, and I can then select each student one at a time and go through the grading process. So let's do that for the first student here, Nick. I can then see exactly the code that he submitted, and I can also see the assignments on the side panel here. So what I'm looking for here is that his program runs correctly. So easiest way to do that is to run his program. I do know that the dictionary has 44 palindromes in it, and this appears perfectly correct. So my first impression of this assignment is that it's a perfect score. And I have no reason to dock him any points. But of course, I always go into the coding window and physically take a look at his code. Specifically, what I'm looking for is his function that creates the Boolean true-false value to test if a word is a palindrome. And then I'm looking at the structure. I'm looking for his three lists, one that stores the file, the words read from the file, another one to store all the palindromes that were found from that function, and of course the last one that will hold 5 random words. And I can scan the rest of this as much as I want, but I've already found what I'm looking for. His code lines up with what and how we learned this topic in the course, and it ran perfectly. So there is no auto grading set up for this assignment, and we can check that by clicking the auto grade button, which is the check mark. And we'll see that it can't auto grade because there is no test cases. So in this case, what I will do is I'll go back into the submission window, and I will manually apply a grade. I'll say 100. Click grade, and of course I can write comments if I wanted to, if there was some feedback that I wanted to provide Nick here in this assignment. And then of course I just progress through the other students in this list and perform the same function. So you can export these grades using the standard CSV Excel file type strategy. And there are other ways this can integrate into schools' LMSs, but I choose not to. It's just easier for me with the number of students that I have to enter my grades manually into, in this case, PowerSchool. In this second demonstration, I'm also using a Python program with the same students. So this assignment asks students to enter a string, a word, and then use the function that they designed to assign a value to that word, assuming that A has value 1, B has 2, etc. So when the students start off, they have a blank template where they can add their code. In this case, I've given them a main program, and all they have to do is finish writing the function. In this program, I've decided to implement auto grading. So in this case, I designed 2 test cases. So in the instance where students entered the word cab, first 3 letters, ABC, it should have an expected value of, with A being 1, B is 2, and C is 3, an expected value of 6. Easy to test. And then I created a second test, testing the word elephants, which should have a value of 100. So when the students click on their auto grade will use these 2 test cases and report a percentage correct. So in this case, 100% if this program is completely correct. But if one of these tests passes and the other doesn't for some reason, then the auto grader would report 50%. So the teacher can design as many test cases as are appropriate for that assignment. So from the student side, when they're running this program, let's go to a student assignment here. First thing is they can run it themselves and test it. So in this case, if I type the word cab, we should have a 6. And the student would know at this point there's something wrong with their program because the output doesn't match the expected output of 6. But even further, when they run AutoGrade right now, which is the checkbox, they will get a 0 out of 100 score. So in this case, the AutoGrader cannot detect why it's wrong. There's no syntax error. It's just that the expected output of 6 doesn't match the actual output of 3. Now, I broke this program on purpose just to demonstrate what this looks like. So the student can go in and fix his program. In this case, we just have to bump this up by 1 because in its list, A's index is 0, and we want that to be a 1. So we just literally add +1 each pass through the loop to each letter. So now if we save this program and run it, first we'll just verify that the letter CAB add up to 6, and it does. And now the last step for students would be to, as they're always instructed, click the AutoGrader and get this to pass all the tests. So there are comments that the AutoGrader generates. There are standard debug comments that the students can use that are often very helpful. So on the teacher side, aside from looking at the auto-generated grade, I of course will inspect his code and just confirm that that function looks like I expect it to. In this case, I had given them the main program, so I don't even need to look at that. So from the student and teacher side, we can both see this, that that assignment was auto-graded at 100%. Both tests passed. And finally, from the teacher side, I can go into the submission list and simply choose to auto-grade all of the assignments at once. It'll just go through them one by one and repopulate the current grade for each submission. So I have developed many assignments on my own and embedded them into the Rex platform and used the auto-grading feature with great success. It is not difficult, just a small learning curve. So these assignments were just regraded, and just as they were before, they're graded perfectly. And that's really all there is to it. I've demonstrated today how to grade student submissions using both manual grading and the auto-grading feature that's built into Rex.